I'm going to do that. So there seems to be a lot of background noise, and I don't want to close the window. Can you guys hear any background noise from me? You can type it in the little chat room down below. Let me know if I'm breaking up or if you're hearing the helicopter decided to go over and a big truck went by and there's a dozen kids in the playground. So, but I don't want to close the window because it's hot. So do let me know if you guys have any trouble hearing me. And I think you can all see me. You don't hear any noise. Thanks, Tricia. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's start the class. I want to do a little bit of application sharing. So I want to take you over to Blackboard. Whoops, you don't want to see that page. So is there anybody, can you see Blackboard on your screen? Yes? Somebody? Yes. Everything sounds good. Great. Okay, good. All righty. So here's Blackboard. When Blackboard opens, it's always going to open to the announcements page. You can always scroll down the announcements page to see if you forget something, or they never go away. But the current one is always at top, and I'm always going to email that to you so that you get it in your email. And I tend to be kind of annoying, so you probably get at least 1 or 2 emails from me every week. And it will go to your student email account. So it's very important that you monitor your student email account. The lessons, the weeks, are organized by lessons, and there's one for every week. So we have 16 weeks of class. We have 16 lessons. The due dates always match the syllabus. And except for next week, which Monday is a holiday, all of the due dates are on Monday at 6 p.m. And that means the week after Thanksgiving as well. So you want to plan your work to get your work done, let's say, during the week if you know you're going to be really busy on the weekend. But I choose 6 p.m. on Monday because we only have tech support during the week from regular business hours. I think it's 8:30 to 5 or something. So I wanted to choose a time. Also choose a time that I can be available. So Monday at 6 is it. And every week when you look at it, every week you'll see a whole listing of things that we're going to do. Now there's some neat tricks you can do in Blackboard. One of these is that you can click on that little menu right there. Let me do that again. Up here at the top, these 3 little icons, you can click on this little icon right here, and it gives you a listing of everything that we're going to do during the week. So you'll see that there are the headings of each of those, the blog, the quiz, and the assignment. Every week there's an assignment, a blog, and a quiz. The quiz is open book, obviously since I'm not there to watch you, so it's open book. And also I would suggest that you go in and open the quiz and print it if you can, and then find the answers, and then come back in and put in the answers. What's that, Kevin? What'd you ask?
Oh, I was just wondering if once we click for the 3-day report that's due on Tuesday, if it goes to you automatically and it doesn't require any further action on our parts.
That's correct.
Okay.
So, but I don't think it's due
Tuesday.
Is it due next Tuesday or the week after? Well, if you get it in on Tuesday, that's super. So anyway, so if we, so you can read through these by turning the pages. You just click through by turning the pages, and you can read the content. Mostly this is a restating of what I think is really important in the class. You see that this first one we talk a lot about the diet analysis and how to read the reports in diet analysis, which I think are really important, and sometimes it's really difficult for you to tell. But Kevin, going back to what you said about what's due, the 3-day intake is not due until the 10th. Okay? I want you to start working on it now, but it's not due until the 10th, which is a week from Tuesday. Isn't that a week from Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday is the 4th. Okay, so you have a whole week. So I'm sorry if there's a confusion there. I changed that due date.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So, so this one, you just go through and read all of this stuff. I hear some clicking. Is somebody having trouble signing in? Okay. No? Okay. So you can see here, here's some directions. Read the content. I worked really hard to make it relevant. So please be sure to read the content, and you can use it. I try to make it in addition to or to highlight what's in your textbook. Each week there's an assignment. For most of the assignments we're going to be using Diet Analysis Plus, and you will submit the assignments through Diet Analysis Plus, not through Blackboard. So some of the ones that are later in the semester where you actually attach them, but the directions will always be here in Blackboard. So you just read the directions right there, and then do not submit through Blackboard. There's a blog, and so each week there is a blog, and you usually have to click to launch the blog, and it's going to open up. And notice, be really careful that when you're looking to see, is it opening up in the same tab, or did it create a new tab? If it created a new tab, then you need to close that tab to get back to Blackboard. But if it's in the same tab, then you can use the breadcrumbs here to move back and forth, or you can jump over here to the island, over here to the menu. And also, these questions have to do with your diet analysis. So after you've done your 3-day intake, it's asking you some specific questions related to your intake, and then for you to share that information. The blog to introduce yourself is in the Start Here lesson, which is due on Monday. Okay, Desiana? It's in Start Here. It's at the end of the Start Here. And I've made it so that you can't just jump to those things, because I worked really hard on the content. So you have to read through my information before you can find the blogs and the quizzes, etc. So this is the blog. And then if we go back here to the food choices and open it up, and then at the very end there's a quiz down here at the bottom. It won't let me jump there, but anyway, it's down here at the bottom. So that's how Blackboard works. We'll do this every week. Every week is exactly the same. Every week there's an assignment, a blog, and a quiz. Okay? The thing that makes this class a little bit more difficult is that we're going to be using Diet Analysis Plus to track your diet intake. So I have put a link right here in the menu, and you will come to a Cengage Brain login. If you have never used Cengage before, you will create an account. Otherwise, if you have, you're going to use that same one. So let's say if you've taken an accounting class or another class using a Cengage book, you may have done that. You're going to come to a page. Doesn't quite look like this, but you're going to see Diet Analysis Plus 2-semester login. When you log in and create your profile, it's going to ask you for a course ID. it's very important that you put in the course ID from the syllabus or from the announcements page, because that's how I will be able to find your assignments when they're done. Okay, so when you log in, somewhere along the line it's going to ask you for a course ID. Has anybody done that? Kevin, have you done that yet?
Yes, I have. Sorry, I had the phone muted.
Talking and why can't you hear me? Right, okay, and it did ask you for the course ID.
Indeed.
Good, all right. So be sure that you put that course ID in correctly, and that way then I will be able to see your work. So once you have done that, I would really recommend that you watch the tutorial up here at the top. So the tutorial is really nice. It walks you through and lets you know what's going on. I don't want it to run, so I'm going to go back. So take some time and watch the tutorial. You can create several profiles, and as we go through the labs, you will be creating multiple profiles for different ones. But when you create your profile, so let me walk you through. So we're going to create a new profile. So the profile, you can name it anything you want. So we're going to call this one 6. You put in your age. And your personal information, and whether or not you're a smoker or vegetarian. Somebody needs to click *6 on their phone. We're getting some feedback. *6. Somebody. That's better. Okay, so once you create that profile, then you do next. And the most important part comes down here. It says, what is your activity level? Please underestimate your activity. Everybody wants to give themselves the benefit of the doubt. You can always go back here and change this again. But if you're a regular normal person, right? If you're a regular normal person, and let's say you work out every morning, you are still only lightly active. Unless you're a football player at boot camp, you are not very active. So it's very important to choose an activity level that's lower than what you think it's going to be. The reason being is the activity level sets your calorie requirement, and none of us want to overestimate how many calories we should be consuming during the day. So be sure, pardon me, is there a question? No? Okay. Alrighty. So you want to do that. You want to set your activity level. You can use one of these. I probably, if you put very active or even active, I'm probably going to question you on that. So then we go through and you finish it up, and you save that profile. You can edit it. You can always edit these. So the profile is then going to set the number of calories you have, and it's going to set your personal DRI, or dietary reference intakes. So next week when we study or the week after when we study the chapter on the dietary reference intakes, you'll know a little bit more about what this means. But it's going to set your calorie level, and based on that, the protein, carbohydrates, and fat, and then the rest of this information, your vitamins, your minerals, and all of that is going to be based on your age and sex. So that's what your DRI is going to be. After you've set your profile, then we're going to go in, you're going to go in and track your diet. Now let's talk a little bit about tracking the diet. What kind of foods do you put in there? You put in everything you eat. So the best thing to do is to carry around a little piece of paper or a little book and to write down everything you eat as you eat it. Because we have very convenient memories and we tend to forget what it is we ate. So if you could write it down and estimate your portion sizes, especially if you could measure how much liquid is in your glass, or weigh your food if you have the ability to do that. The more accurately you enter the information, the better the results are going to be. It's just like anything else. Garbage in, garbage out. So if you just make wild accusations and wild guesses, then that's what you're going to get, is kind of useless information. So you put the food in there that you want to search for, and you can push return, and it'll give you all of the foods that have milk in them. And if the one you wanted is here, then you just pick it. It's not going to have a lot of, let's say, special foods that you might have purchased at Whole Foods. So you're going to have to make some guesses and become something that's as close as possible. Notice that for this one, there are 71 pages. So obviously, we need to fix this a little bit. So let's say, so then you were going to, and everybody is really comfortable with searches now that we've been using the computer. So this shouldn't be too difficult. Note that this one right here has a little red star. That means that that is one of my favorites. And if you will click on the little red star and make it into a favorite, then you can just pick from your favorites. So you can just pick from your favorites. So foods that you tend to eat over and over again, so you don't have to search them every time. So that's, it's kind of really nice, right? And so you just put in your foods, you list your foods. You want to put in the day. You're to have 2 weekdays and a weekend day. Do not choose a day that you didn't feel good and you didn't eat anything. And also don't choose Labor Day if you go to a big party and overindulge. Let's pick kind of normal days. If you want to, you can enter more days, 5, 7, 10, whatever you want. The more information you put in here, the more accurate your data is going to be. Usually good nutrition is a balance of over several weeks, and but we tend to eat pretty consistently, usually. You can enter custom foods, but the problem with that is that they'll be missing some of the nutrients. You'll only have what's on the nutritional label, and so many of the vitamins and minerals won't be listed. And you can also create recipes. So if there's something that you eat multiple times, you could create it as a recipe and then use part of it that way as well. But it all works pretty much the same. Are there any questions? No? Silence.
I actually have a question. Like I said, I went ahead, kind of jumped the gun and submitted something to you, but I think I didn't do a weekend, so I'll have to go back. Is it possible to resubmit then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm pretty sure. Let me know if you can't, but I think you can. Right. Yeah, go ahead and resubmit it.
Well, the first day of school was kind of like a weekend anyway because I was eating up a storm. So.
Well, that'll work, but you might want to add a couple more days.
Sure, I'll do it.
Hot 7.
I kind of do it every day because I'm sort of on a nutrition plan right now anyway, so
okay.
I'll do that.
Yeah, okay. So you can add more days, and I'm pretty sure you can submit it again. Anybody else? You also want to track your activity, so because later on, excuse me, later on we'll be doing that. Uh-oh, got a tickle, just a minute. Oh, so sorry. So you may want to track your activity, and you do the activity exactly the same way. Goodness, that's bad. Alrighty, so we go back to the home page. Yes.
How do you where do you enter all the water that you drink? If you're drinking water?
Yes, and you should enter your water, and you do it exactly. So you just put in water, like that, and you just enter that, And you can see it usually shows up. Let's see. Here it is, water tap, right here.
And so do you just, if you're just drinking it, like if you're exercising, you just put it under a meal because there's only the choices of the meals or a snack?
Yeah. Just put it in one of your meals. It won't make any difference. You can eat it. Sometimes I get really lazy and I just don't even bother with the meal business, and I just, just put it all in breakfast. It won't make any difference. Yeah, for sure. That doesn't matter. Good question. And it's important that you include all your water, everything you drink. If you put any condiments on anything, ketchup, mayonnaise, olives. The hardest part is, you kind of tend to look at things and say, oh, I think I'll have a few nuts. And then you go, oh, no, I'm not going to write that down, right? It's too much bother. So we do tend to change our eating habits when we write things down. So sometimes that's a little bit more difficult. But stay as close to your normal eating habits as you can. Don't clean up your act. You're not going to get graded on what you're eating. You're only going to get graded on the quality of your input. And then we can analyze it as we go along through the class. And you'll see where there are things that you can change, and your eating will change as you go through the class. And then at the very end of the class, we'll do another activity that, you'll have an opportunity to see how things have changed when you're through the class. So don't worry about what you're eating. You can't shock me. Let me tell you, people eat some pretty strange stuff. So, I don't know. I've had some kids that seem to live on Coke, but, Coca-Cola, not the other kind. So anyway, so that's it. So you put your intake. And so then once you've done that, for this first one, we're going to do reports. And so we're going to be looking at reports. And the first report you're going to do is this one over here, which is the 3-day average report. If you do more than 3 days, you could do a custom report, which would be more than 3 days. The most important part of this is you need to pick the 3 days that you ate. And you'll know which ones those are. It's been a long time since I put anything in here. Let's see if we can find one. Because there's a little green square right there. So you pick the 3 days. They don't need to be consecutive, right? So just pick those 3 days. And then you will, you can preview the report. So let's go ahead and preview the report. Okay, so the report's going to have, the first thing is your DRI. This is what you should be eating. The next part of the report is going to have what you, this is more of the DRI, what you should be eating, just like we looked at before. This is your macronutrient ranges. So this is your percentage of calories from carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Percentage of calories. So the green line is what they should be, and the yellow line is what you actually ate. Now, I don't have hardly any food in here, right? So that's why this looks like that. This is a graph, and this part here is the actual numbers. Then down here at the bottom, we have your sources of fat. So what were your sources of fat, and where they come from? Saturated, mono, poly, trans. We'll see a large number in unspecified because some of the data is incomplete. So it's getting better all of the time. Then this one down here, intake versus goals. Often, many of the labs will ask you, what is your percentage of calories? What is your percentage of protein or vitamins or whatever? We're looking here at this number right here. Now, when you go to turn this in, your calories must be at least 80%. This number must be at least 80% and not more than 120%, unless you have a really darn good reason. So usually if your calories...
That, please?
Pardon?
Can you repeat that, please?
Sure.
It has to be at least what?
At least 80%. Okay? And the calories have to be at least 80%. and not more than 120%. If your calories are less than 80%, it may mean that you set your activity level too high in your profile, and you need to go back and change that. It may be that you underestimated your portion sizes.
Oh, so with the diet, we have to do the activity along with it?
The activity level?
Yeah, because there are two different input fields for that in Cengage.
Yeah, no, the activity level, when you put that in, that doesn't affect what your DRI goal is. The only place that affects your DRI goal is in your profile.
Okay, thank you.
So in the profile, you've selected sedentary, low active, active. So that's the area where it sets this calorie level right here. And I chose sedentary, so, and I'm old, so it's 1684 calories, but your calories are going to be, you know, if you're a guy, it's going to be 2,500, you know, or more. The girls are going to be more around 2,000, 1,800 to 2,000. So this is set when you set your profile. So
I find it odd, actually, I'm sorry to chime in all the time, but I find it odd that in this country they recommend 2,500 for men, whereas in Europe they recommend 2,000 and 1,800 for women.
Yeah, it depends on your activity level, right? Okay. So could be different. Somebody needs to turn the volume down on their computer. Okay, that works. *6 works. Alrighty, so we're not getting any feedback. If you're getting feedback, you need to turn the volume down on your computer. Okay, so this number again needs to be between 80 and 120%. If it's over 120%, chances are that you've overestimated how much you've eaten. Maybe you ate 5 ounces of steak and you brought down a pound. And oftentimes, especially people you know, who are used to grams or they overestimate. The little eaters tend to overestimate what they're eating, and the big eaters tend to underestimate what they're eating. So that's why it's really important to measure and weigh, because most of us are not very good at that. And the reason I do this is because it's a way for me to find a mistake. So if you can submit one that's less than 80% or more than 120%, but you better give me a really good reason. Okay? So just to let you know, I look at that number right there, and I'll give it back to you and make you change it. Because all semester we're going to be referring to this report, and if it's not accurate when you start, then all of the work that you do later on in the semester is useless, silly, busy work, right? So it's really important that you do it correctly the first time. So then if we go down here, many times many of these numbers will be greater than 100%. And that's okay, because usually when you get the nutrients from food, they're usually not toxic. The only time we have to see toxicity is when you're taking a lot of supplements, and we'll learn that sort of stuff later. And then finally down here in the bottom is the My Plate analysis. And so we'll be looking at this as well, and you can see I entered 1 cup of dairy, so that's all that says right there. And then way down here at the bottom is an intake spreadsheet, and there'll be one of these for every day. And so sometimes I'll ask you, where did your saturated fat come from? And so then you would come down here and you would look at this column right here, the saturated fat, and it would tell you, oh yeah, that whole milk had saturated fat. Or we might ask you, where did your vitamin B6 come from, or your vitamin D? And then we'd ask you to list the foods that are highest in that. And finally down here is an energy breakdown. So this is the report. Are there any other questions? Anybody have any other questions? And this is explained in the lesson 1 as well. Kevin, I want at least 80%. I want, let me write it in here. I want 80.
Okay, because I'm at 66%, so I guess I'll just have to.
Look at your activity level. Okay, what did you set in your profile? What did you set your activity level at?
Sedentary for student. So.
You did set it at sedentary.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, now you did say you were on a diet plan, so.
Well, it's a nutrition plan actually that I paid several $100s to a nutritionist, though I'm not following it to the T with the amounts of vegetables and things I should be eating.
So
up the veggies, I guess.
Yeah, well, there's not too many calories in those, but be sure to. Have you been weighing and measuring?
Mhm.
Ah, yes, I would believe that. So yeah. So what that's telling you is you're not eating enough, right? You don't want to undereat, and the reason being that because your metabolism will slow down, and if you're trying to lose weight, you will lose weight slower. So it's really important to consume at least 80%. You actually lose weight a little faster. Also, at 80%, you're going to maintain more of your muscle mass than if you cut way back. And also, you're going to be more comfortable. So.
It's just with this heat, though. I don't think anybody really feels like eating with this humidity.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Hopefully, it'll cool off in a little while. Okay. So those are yeah. Any questions? If you silenced your phone, you need to do *6 to ask me a question. Okay. All righty. So that's the 3-day analysis. Then after the 3-day analysis, you're going to come in here and do these labs. We do all of the labs, almost all of the labs, I should say. So we start with this first one on serving sizes, and then we move on to the food label. So you go in. This food label one is really easy. So you go in, and this one is really easy. You just answer the questions. You can write in a comment. You go next, 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 and then you submit it. Okay? So that's all there is to it. And then I can go in to the diet analysis and look and see when you submitted it, and I can grade it that way. I do grade these really carefully, and I do add comments. So if you get marked down, it's really important that you go in and look at the comments, because I think you have to go in to look to see. All right, that's the diet analysis software. And any questions about that? Beep, beep. Okay. So notice this opened in a different tab. So we would go back to Blackboard Learn. A couple of other things that are here. This is the Student Companion site. And what I really like about this site here is that you can choose the chapters. Let's say you choose Chapter 1. And you can go in here and you can see the flashcards. I think flashcards are a really good learning tool. So you can use these flashcards right here. Maybe, yes, maybe no. Yeah, so here's the flashcards. So I think that's a really good learning tool. And you can flip them over. So I think of all of the things that are here, that's probably the most useful. There is a glossary, etc. So it's just kind of extra. Nothing there is required or graded. Okay. Here's the directions for the Diet Analysis Plus. If you want to get a hold of me, since I'm part-time faculty right now, please email me, and please email me through the class using your email, the OCC email, because when I get that, it has the header, and then I know what class you're in, and I know who you are. So I will do a better job, right? So I see Rebecca, you've joined us, right? I saw you. Okay. All righty, Rebecca, if you have any questions or problems, let me know. There is some Blackboard help here if you need that as well. Other than that, any questions? Anything? I think it's pretty easy. Tricia, I see you're writing. Do you have a question? You can speak. Just do *6 on your phone.
I'm not typing. This is Tricia.
Oh, you're not typing. Okay, it looked like it. All righty. Anybody else? Any other questions, concerns? You should probably have received a download of a PowerPoint from me when you signed in, because Kevin says that there were some concerns. All right?
Is the PowerPoint for the first class we're taking, for number 1?
It's chapter 1, yeah.
Okay.
I thought I might go through some of that if you'd like. Other than just orienting you to the class, I thought I might, do something useful while we were here, but if we have the time. So you're here, you're stuck with me. So some things about this class. This is a transfer level course. It transfers as a general ed class to most of the colleges and universities in the United States, actually. So many of the students take the class are like nursing majors and nutrition majors, though it is a lower level class. It does not transfer as an upper division class. For culinary majors, we recommend that they take the 2-unit FN 140 class. So I don't think any of you are culinary majors. So you all know this information. The objectives of the class really I want you to learn the concept of what good nutrition is, and I want you to be able to apply that to your personal lives. I think that's the most important thing. If you come away and you don't know the food sources for the different vitamins and minerals, that really doesn't make any difference. But I'm really interested in that you learn what science-based nutrition is and that you learn what the difference is between the two. So the course syllabus has the due dates for everything. I work really hard to grade in a timely manner. I return emails very promptly, so usually in the same day or within 24 hours. You have to give me a week to grade things. Okay, and I don't grade until after the due date, usually. So that means if it's due on Monday, I give you a week to do it. You have to give me a week to grade it. If after a week you don't see your grade recorded in Blackboard, please let me know. But give me a couple days. We talked about the diet analysis. And Vista, that was really an old slide. Okay. So let's just talk a little bit about food nutrition. I'll be really interested to see how you guys do. This is a new text for us. We have been using Understanding Nutrition, which is a little bit more complex. So we're hoping that by changing to this text that you will get more of the concepts and not get buried in the science. It talks a little bit about our personal food choices and why we choose what we do. And some of our lifestyle choices. What we do know is that 4 of the top 5 causes of death in the United States are nutrition related. Well, 3 of them are nutrition related, and accidents are alcohol related. So that our lifestyle choices will make a difference as you get older. genetics obviously plays a big important part, but if you're active and involved, and if you eat a wide variety of foods and you eat well, your chances of becoming being an active elderly are much improved and not suffering from many of the diseases. We know that the body is continually being remodeled and redone over time, so that I can hear my husband behind me. Hi, dear. He wants to be remodeled, right? So anyway, you're on TV. You know that, dear?
I am on TV.
Yeah, you're right there on the video in my class.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm getting out of here.
Anyway, that our body is continually being remodeled and replaced, so it's important that we continue to replace the nutrients that are in our bodies as well. There are 6 major classes of nutrients, but the human body is made up almost at least over 2/3 of water. Then there is the carbohydrate, and the red is the protein. Oh, this is corn. So here we are. Here we'll water over here. The yellow is fat, then protein. Then, excuse me, this is carbohydrate, protein, and then minerals up at the top. So, and you can see the vitamins are a really, really small part. So that, and we're continually replenishing and changing. Of the 6 classes of nutrients, there are about 50 of them that are essential. For carbohydrates, it would be starch or glucose. There are 2 fatty acids, linoleic and linolenic. There are 9 amino acids that are important of the 20 that we cannot make, 13 vitamins, 25 minerals, and of course water. And then one of the concepts that students have the most difficulty with is understanding that essential means you have to eat them. We cannot make them inside of our body. So that makes it an essential nutrient. These nutrients are classified as organic and inorganic and energy yielding. The organic ones, we use the chemistry definition of organic, not the one you get at the supermarket. So our definition means that it contains carbon. So carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, and vitamins are organic. And I told you that already. The inorganic ones are minerals and water. So those are those do not contain carbon. Minerals are like rocks and water. The energy yielding nutrients, and this is a concept that students frequently have trouble with, an energy yielding nutrient. That means that the nutrient provides calories. That does not include vitamins. It includes only carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and of course alcohol, but alcohol is not considered a nutrient, it's an anti-nutrient. And carbohydrate provides 4 calories per gram, lipids 9, and proteins 4. So these are the energy yielding nutrients. They provide energy to our bodies. So when it asks you to list in the labs, it asks you to list the energy yielding nutrients, only list carbohydrate, lipids, and proteins. You'll be asked to calculate how many calories are in a food. So you take the grams times the calories per gram, and you add those up. So you get, and that's how you can do that. Now, if you're doing it on a food label, understand that food labels are rounded. So your calories, the calories that you add up, are going to be slightly different than what's on the food label. Also, on the food label, you must subtract fiber from the carbohydrate because fiber has no calories. So you will get slightly different answers. That doesn't mean they lied. It means it's rounded. We're going to make a lot of issue about energy density, about choosing foods that provide lots, that you can eat a large quantity of for a few number of calories. So this is energy density. And I think one of the reasons we're having problems in the United States is that our food is too energy dense. This plate of food over here provides as many calories as these two donuts. So it's pretty easy to overeat when we're making poor choices. We need to get our food from food and not supplements. I think many of us have been misled in the fact that either that you need to take a supplement, which we do not. If you eat well, you do not need to take a vitamin supplement, especially as a normal, healthy, active person.
Don't they recommend not taking vitamins actually at all except for eating them in food?
I definitely. I think while I don't think taking a vitamin will harm you, if you just take a multivitamin supplement, I don't think it's necessarily doing you any good either. So it could be just a waste of money. But most of us eat pretty healthy diets, and we do not see vitamin deficiencies in the United States. So you're right on, Kevin, not necessary. And never ever take an individual vitamin because that could be toxic. So you want to take, if you take a vitamin, be sure to take a multivitamin. But a lot of people are misled and they say that DRI are too, they're set low. They are not. They are set to cover almost everybody. And meal replacements and power bars, those don't replace real food. You'll read about that in your book. So in real food, there's a lot more than vitamins and minerals and water. There's fiber, there's phytochemicals, there's a lot. So it's really important to eat real foods. And to base your diet on fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Keep dairy, meat, and fat to a minimum. So lots and lots of fruits and vegetables and whole grains. And then finally, the elements of a healthy diet, all of these are really important. Adequacy, getting enough, we will all get plenty. Adequacy is not really an issue for most of us. Balance, that there's a good proportion. Anytime you leave out one of the food groups, that messes up the balance. And it's really important that you get food from all of the food groups. And if you don't, we need to figure out how to replace that. Calorie control, obviously huge issue. Obesity is a huge issue in the United States. Moderation, eating reasonable sized portions, and variety. So eating a lot of different foods. Eating the same thing every day, even if it's adequate and there's balance and moderation, there's two things that happen. One, you could be missing out on a certain vitamin or mineral, or the other thing is that you could be consuming a food that might have a specific toxin in that we don't know about. Or maybe there's a vitamin or mineral or an element like the phytochemicals that we haven't identified yet that you're missing out on. So the more variety that's in your diet, not only does it make food taste good and make it interesting, it also is better nutrition. Then research is the nutrition that we're teaching right now is nutrition-based, science-based research. So it's very conservative. We are, but we're basing the advice that we're giving on lots and lots of research. So you might read about it. If you might go to Whole Foods Market, you might get something really, really different. But for us, this is what we're doing. And we're continually being reevaluating and looking and trying to find better ways to teach, to give this information and improve the information. And that's why a lot of people really think, well, the nutritionists, they don't really understand what they're talking about. Or nutritionists don't, they can't make up their mind. They keep changing their mind. Well, as the research keeps growing and we get more and more information, we know more about what we're talking about. But the true basis of good nutrition has not changed in 40 years. Eat your fruits and vegetables and whole grains. That's the same story they were telling me when I was in college, and it's the same story we're telling people right now. So don't spend a lot of time worried about what's going on. So I have a question down at the bottom. What's the difference between balance and moderation? Moderation is how much. So moderation means that you shouldn't eat a diet that's really, really high in protein, or a diet that doesn't have any dairy, or one that has only fruits. So so that's moderation. And then balance is choosing within the food group so that you have some fruit, some vegetable, some whole grain, some dairy. So that's balance between the food groups. Does that help? Oh, good. All righty. And then finally, I want you, and we'll do a special activity on this later on, I want you to be able to discern between what's accurate nutrition information and what is misinformation. So I want you to be able to tell, and to look for the signs, like, is it a testimonial? Are there what are the credentials? Are they reliable? Is it based on unpublished studies? Is it an advertisement? Is it a .com site? I want you to see those things and to know that when you see those, that those are red flags and that there could be some misinformation. So that's kind of what's covered in the first chapter. A little bit. It's a little bit different, but some of it. So I thought since you bothered to join me, you should get a little bit about my philosophy about nutrition. I think my personal overriding concepts is, one is nutrition is what you do eat, not what you don't eat. So you see on TV, well, don't eat trans fats, or don't eat sugar, or don't. And that's not what nutrition is all about. Nutrition is about what you do eat. So if we seek out and try to eat more fruits and vegetables rather than avoiding things, it's more pleasurable and you'll enjoy your diet and better. So that's just kind of my philosophy. And then always eat your fruits and vegetables and whole grains, and don't worry too much about the other stuff because we'll eat plenty of that. Okay, so any questions about the class or what you're going to be required to do in the class? You can always reach me by email. Don't call my phone. Don't call the college phone because I'm not there anymore, or only on Thursdays. But if you are having problems and if you want to meet with me, I will be on campus on Thursday afternoons. So we could set up an appointment, and I would be glad to meet with you if you're having any special questions or problems, or you just want to meet with me, and for anything like that. All right. Any more questions? So you can unmute your phone, or you can type it in the chat room. I think that Jeff is typing. Are the blogs due at the same time as the assignments? That's right. Everything is due by 6 p.m. on Mondays. So your assignment is due, the quiz is due, your blog post. I would suggest that you go in early in the week and post, and then on sometime during the weekend that you come back in and post the replies. You must post and you must reply to 2 different people, because I want you to see what they're saying, and I want you to understand about the variety and different ways of thinking about things. Yeah, I don't know that I put it in Blackboard, the due dates, but everything's due at 6 p.m. on Monday. I tried to make it really simple, right? Rather than having due dates for this and due dates for that. And this week has assignments and that one doesn't. And this one has a quiz and that one doesn't. And just in case you missed it at the beginning, the quizzes are not timed. You can open them as many times as you want to, but you can only submit them once. And later on in the semester, I will release the right answers so you can go back and look at it. The final is a random selection of questions from all of the quizzes. I do not reset quizzes, but there will be an opportunity for about 20 extra credit points. So if you miss a quiz for some reason, I won't reset it for you, but you can do something different. I'll give you, there's an activity at the end that you can do for those 20 points.
So that very first quiz we took, there was 1 extra credit point, right?
Oh yes, that's right. Every one of the quizzes has 2 or 3 extra credit points.
Okay.
Just because. Yeah.
Tricia, I asked you, my name's not on the list of students anymore on the blog page, and so my quiz is gone. So I had the points and now I don't.
Oh, that's what you said. Yeah. So it's Tricia.
Mm-hmm.
I will look. I didn't drop anybody from the class or anything.
Well, I'm still on the blog, but when you go up at the top on the right-hand side of that page and it lists the students in the class, my name's not there anymore, but it was.
Let's look. So if we go, I think.
You go to the weekly lessons.
And you did the Start Here one, right?
Yeah, and I got all the way to the blog page.
Okay. Let me keep going. Okay, so here's the blog. Click to down 5. Click to launch. I don't know why it does. I hate that. Click to launch. It's like evil. So you are saying
it says all course members, and it's listed. Well, I can't see it now because it's on there, but
what's your last name, Trish?
it's Barton. But the first name is Patricia, so it's down at the bottom, but it's not there anymore. See, it used to be there, and now it's not there. And then I had 21 points for my first test, and that's not there anymore either.
And not in your grade?
Yeah, it's gone.
No, we can't have that. No, let me look in the grade center. Oops, what did I do? Well, you're still here. So,
but it says a quiz, right?
It's the Start Here quiz.
Yeah.
So you did not submit it at the end.
Well, originally when I clicked on my grades, I did submit it. And I had a grade, but now I don't even have a grade anymore.
I will reset it and you can take it again. I don't know. I didn't do that.
Okay.
Why
my name? Yeah,
it looks like none of those answers got saved. So it's an easy one. So I will go in and reset that quiz for you, though you should be able to take it again anyway.
Okay.
And what happened with the blog, I'm not sure. Let me see. That is really strange. So yeah, so now there's nothing there.
I know.
Well,
so my blog is
again.
there, right?
Huh?
My blog and my 2 answers are still there, right?
Grade user activity. Doesn't look like it. I wonder what happened. I have no idea.
Like 5 people commented on the blog, so I know it was there.
I can't tell you. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. I don't know if somebody else went in there and did that. I know you're allowed to delete your own. I didn't think you were allowed to delete anybody else's. Maybe it got deleted by mistake, or I don't know, maybe the system had a hiccup. If you wouldn't mind if you go through and do that again. I've never seen that happen before. So fortunately Monday's a long ways away. So if you wouldn't mind. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do that. But do you know if my blog is still there? You can't see if my blog's there too?
I didn't see it. It's not listed.
Okay.
When I look down here at your name, down here it says 0. So, which means that it's not listed there. And that is really bizarre. And I have no way of getting it back. So I'm not sure what happened.
I wonder if when I type it in, I mean, because when I look at it, I can still find it.
You can?
I can find my blog, yeah. I can usually see it.
Really?
When you know when you have all the blogs up there and they're all running along underneath that blue thing? I don't know blogs right now, but you know when they're all up there? My blog is there. That part. If you go down, it's there. It's towards the beginning because I was like maybe the 5th, 6th, 7th person that did it. So it's down towards the bottom.
There you are.
And then I'll respond. And
I have 5 comments.
Yeah.
Well, here, I'm going to do this. I don't know if that'll help. Let's see. That is so bizarre. Well, I marked it as new. Does that help? Well, it showed up again. So I'm not sure. If I look at it, let me see if I can grade it. That's the most important part. Oh, wait a minute. Can't grade it. I don't know, Patricia. I'll work on it. Okay.
Okay.
I'll try and fix that. But the quiz thing, I don't know what to do about that. So
if
you just just put it in agree, right? And then I will I'll fix that. Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what I did. I didn't do it. But we'll fix it. Anyway,
okay.
You'll get credit for it, and it shouldn't happen again. I've never seen that happen before. So
okay.
Yeah. So, but you'll have to do it over again.
Okay, I will.
Yes, that's right, Jeff. Everything's due every Monday at 6 p.m. The Start Here lesson and all of that information is due on Tuesday, and then after that, everything's due on Monday because Monday's a holiday, right? Okay. Great. And the syllabus, I believe, is correct. And if you find any mistakes, please let me know. And you said it's February. Great. All righty. I'll fix that. The diet analysis, serving size. Oh dear. Okay. I will check those assignments. They follow the syllabus, not what's in Blackboard. But I will check the assignments. Maybe I didn't update the due dates. I'll go in and look at those. Thank you. And like I say, if you ever find anything that's confusing or unusual, let me know. But I am planning on following the syllabus. I don't think there will be any reason to make any changes with that. And the only time that I would reset a quiz is if Blackboard goes down. So if your internet goes down, that's your problem. So be sure to take all your quizzes and submit everything early. But if Blackboard goes down, let's say it's down all Monday afternoon, I would give you some additional time, and I'll send you an email and let you know. Yeah, February, not right. Everything is due, should be due February. That's a long ways away. It couldn't possibly be February. So if we go to the Grade Center, hopefully that's the only one I missed, but let's look and see. Where does it say February? Is that in the syllabus? Does it say February? Does that say serving? Oh, it does say that right there. Oh, that's the only one though. Okay, I'll fix that. I think the rest are okay. September, October, November, December, September, October, November, December. Okay, that's the only one. Good. I'll fix it. Thanks for letting me know. Okay? Anything else? Nope?
Nope.
Cool. All righty. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me this afternoon. And please feel free to come by and visit me on Thursdays. If you have any questions or anything, I'd be glad to meet with you. And if you just want to chat, I'll do that too.
Thanks, Jill.
Thank you, Kevin. Everybody else, thanks for taking the time. I know you guys are the A students for sure, right? The rest of them we're not sure about. Okay.
Thanks.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello?
Anybody else?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, is this the professor?
Yes.
This is Cassandra Bernal.
Okay.
Family Near Class. I had a quick question. Hold on, let me pull out my note card. I had it off.
Wait a minute. I don't know what's happening to my next door neighbor is having a fight with his dog. Could you all close the window for me, dear? I don't know who's down there. Okay, what's your question?
Okay, on the syllabus it says assignment in bold on each in each box. Does that mean that's the assignment due for that day, or that's for next week?
No, those are the due dates. That
okay,
column,
perfect.
That column is all due dates.
I see. Okay, and also when you do your 3-day diet intake, I've been submitting them like each day. But how do we do it? How do we turn them all? How do we turn all 3 in at the same time?
In the reports section, you'll see that there's advanced reports. It says 3-day reports.
I see. Okay.
All right, in diet analysis. And how's that going for you?
It's good. I've done 2 days already.
Oh, good. All right, yes. You can, there's a 3-day average report. It's in the advanced reports section.
Okay, I see it right now. And one more question, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
What is I see right here that it says on 917 that we have a diet analysis plus lab. What is the lab?
The lab is, the first one is serving sizes, isn't it? Let me see, on the 17th. So in the Diet Analysis Plus software, down, let's see, the first one is, label 1. So in the Diet Analysis software, the section says laboratories.
Okay.
See it right next to reports, and see label 1 in the list.
I see it. Okay, perfect.
So you just answer those questions and then push submit at the end.
Okay.
And you'll submit to the diet analysis, and then I will grade it in diet analysis.
Awesome. Okay. And awesome. The personal journal response. That's
the blog.
Blog. Okay. And when we have to sign in 2 days a week, or we have to sign in twice and post blogs, what do we post on the blog? Like I'm here, or
each blog has a question that'll refer back to your diet. So you answer those questions. And the first one is in the Start Here lesson where it asks you to introduce yourself.
Yes.
And then each one, there'll be a series of questions that you're to answer. So usually you come in and post the blog at the beginning of the week. Let's say, on Tuesday or something, you'll post your entrance. And then later on go back in after many people have posted and read some of theirs and then comment on theirs.
Okay, so, that makes sense.
You could do it all at one time, but it's better if you, do it a couple of times.
Okay, perfect. So 1 day a week I'm going to answer one of the blog posts, and then my second post for the week would be to comment on someone else's.
Yes, and you must comment on 2 other people.
2 other people. Okay, sounds good.
And always put your name in the subject line. But that's all explained in the blog. It's near the end of each lesson.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else?
No, don't walk around my cat, Chico.
Okay. Anybody else? Nope. Jeff, you're still there. You gone? Okay.